Hello, 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 all you beautiful souls. So today I want to give this talk because sometimes I have seekers that, are not really sure about this whole soul alignment thing. However, they're very rooted in spirituality, and they may even be at a more advanced part in their journey where they have a little bit more of awareness of how things work in the world seemingly, and they might even be resting in 4D consciousness. And specifically formulating this video for those who are, maybe they have like a Facebook page or they have different businesses where they are rooted in duality, where they are posting things to engage other people's fear-based energy, or that they know will get clicks, or divine masculine, divine feminine, or they're posting things about people hate on you this, or people cheat on you. I mean, they're just they're knowingly engaging in these activities because they have been told that this is a part of freedom. This is a part of soul. This is a part of getting out of, lack and scarcity, posting these things and gaining these things without any guilt or shame. And they believe that this is soul, that this is the vibrational switch. And even you can see this with, different people in our society who are in higher positions that, own things or whatever. It's like they believe that they have transcended. However, they are just stuck in a lower level of consciousness. And so I wanted to talk about this today to really help you guys further on your journey. Just like I talked about how psychics might not even know what the soul is, right? This is also to help people who are maybe stuck at this part in their journey and they don't even know, what this next part is, what the soul is. And I've seen this from some people too who are stuck at this part in their journey, and they believe that they're in soul because they understand these laws, they understand these things, they're posting these things, they're getting engagement, maybe they're making financial gains, and they're having people engaging with what they do because they know exactly what buttons to push or the fear-based energy to put out for people to come towards them, right? And so the spiritual laws, and I know this may sound very confusing, but the spiritual laws only apply to the third and fourth dimension. Once you move into soul, once you move into the higher dimensions, you are no longer rooted by spiritual laws. In fact, they just don't exist. Cause and effect no longer exists. Manifestation no longer exists. All of these spiritual laws no longer exist because you're no longer operating in the physical world and you're no longer operating in duality. You are in pure vibrational oneness, which means that you are experiencing the frequency of the universe within you. And that is the only thing that is real, and that is the only thing that matters. And that does not require the experience of duality to confirm or emit or show or anything to you. It's no longer required, so you're no longer in that dimension. And so I see many times people that are maybe spiritual, or maybe even they understand consciousness, or they understand these things, or maybe they have a running business or a page where they know these things, they know those buttons to push, they know the right things to say about let's talk about Aquarius and Aries, and let's talk about cheating people, and they know what to put out there so then other people get engagement with them. However, this is still rooted in lack. This is still rooted in fear. Why? Because your soul is, again, operated in oneness. It's operated in the frequency of oneness. And so when you're rooted in soul and you're no longer based in the physical reality, literally what comes to you will be rooted to you vibrationally. So even though you may have a conceptual knowing of these things and it may work for you physically, your soul is not being expressed. Your own essence is not being expressed. When you're rooted in soul, you're rooted in truth, integrity, love, and not fear-based energy. You're not rooted in fear-based energy to try to do things for a result. There's no cause and effect with the soul, right? And so when you're conceptually, or you know that you're posting these things, you know that you're doing these things, you know exactly what you're doing and what is gaining in the physical world. It's easy for our fear-based energy to latch onto that for a sense of control, for a sense of knowing, for a sense of direction, for a sense of guidance, and feel that it knows what soul is, feel that it knows what it's doing. However, your knowing is blocking who you really are beyond that, right? And it's blocking your wholeness and completeness, and even the urge or the need or the push or the want or the knowing to even do these things to produce a result for you is all based in fear-based energy, because your soul is completely rooted in oneness. It's completely rooted in love energy, and there is no contrast needed for you to experience soul. What does that look like? That looks like when you're rooted in soul, when you're rooted in your essence, you get to know who you are at the core. You get to know who you are at the core. You get to know, the way that you do things, or the things that you like, or, your hobbies, or, I don't know, certain foods that you like, or different things that have been true for you throughout all of your lifetimes, the way that you speak. I've always spoken very direct in all of my lifetimes, and it makes sense, right? And so when in Sadhguru, he's in his essence, and he says, hey, 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 he does certain things like that. You just get to see those different parts of yourself that are literally unique and individual to you. And so with that vibration of oneness, you attract in things, you magnetize things in based on that level of self-trust, self-love. Okay, you're not doing it based in duality and lack, which is rooted in the physical world, rooted in the spiritual laws. All those spiritual laws, law of attraction, all those things, that's all rooted in fear-based energy, because your soul already knows. Your soul is rooted in knowing. It's rooted in the vibration of oneness, and you have to balance out your fear-based energy through the soul alignment process in order to do that. You cannot just think your way there, or say that you're there, or say that you understand that you're there. You really have to balance out your fear-based energy to get to come to that understanding that you were there, and feel that vibration of your own soul, and get to know your own soul for who you've been in all your lifetimes. And so I hope that this video is helpful for people who are stuck in this loop on their journey, because I see it very often. Many spiritual people, they post things, or they make pages, and they know exactly what they're doing. They know that people are going to engage with this who are not as aware or whatever, and they're going to gain something from that, and that fuels them up, that makes them feel something. But really your soul is lacking, because your soul is rooted in not needing or experiencing anything physical. It's only experiencing what you are, which is everything. And then you can have true, authentic, loving relationships with others that are not based in fear-based energy at all, that are rooted in who you truly are at the core. And you get to just stand as you are and trust in that, and move from that truth and honesty. And that's a lot different than knowing the spiritual laws and operating in fear-based energy, the third and fourth dimension. It's a new level of trust. And again, this journey is simple. It's not easy. It's not easy to commit to this every day. It's easy to get in your fear-based energy and whatever, but once you start trusting yourself more and more as you are, you start to really see the difference. And then the things that maybe you're even doing or have done in those lower states of consciousness, 3rd and 4D, posting things for other people, or, whatever things that you're engaged in because it's going to produce a result, those things will no longer be necessary for you to experience oneness. Those things would no longer be necessary for you to experience happiness, bliss, and everything that you truly are. So it's requiring less, so that you can come back to the truth of who you are, and then you can speak your truth. You can speak the life. You can speak from that frequency of oneness. You can speak from that frequency of honesty, of integrity, without fear, or without that you're doing it to appease someone else, because you're literally rooted in that. And everything else outside of that, you're not even gonna vibrate with it, right? And so if you're engaging in duality and engaging in these things, and obviously there's a part of you that's also in fear, even though you may not believe it, even though you may believe that you're in soul or you understand all these things, there's still a part of you that's rooted in fear. You're not being 100% authentic to who you truly are in all of your lifetimes. Okay, so this is a journey of self-love and loving yourself at the deepest level, the soul level. It's an everyday commitment of balancing your fear-based energy, okay? And you do have to do the soul alignment process in order to do it. You cannot figure it out. You cannot look it up. You do have to balance your fear-based energy, which is what I teach through my process. And it works 100% of the time when you are dedicated and committed to this journey for yourself. Okay, and so many things will come up that you didn't even realize, that you're not even consciously aware of. So many things will come up for you. But once you can see it, you can be free of it, right? And so, I see through that, and my space is not for that. My space is not for fear-based energy and, going back and forth about different things, or, different opinions, or arguing, or, posting things for people to see and hope I get engagement. And let's go back and forth with each other or, complain. This is not what my space is for, because that doesn't serve, I don't care to have that in my space. I don't need that in my space. That's not where I'm rooted. And also it doesn't help anyone else's journey to be rooted in that as well. It doesn't help anyone else come back to their own truth, come back to their own soul and their own authenticity. So yeah, if this was helpful, definitely give it a like, leave a comment down below, and definitely check out that link down below if you need further help and support on your journey. You do have to apply to receive, my different resources and tools, but I do have many free things. I also have a podcast, but this is only for those who are truly ready to take that next step in their journey. Maybe people who, my guide, she had a student who, was actually in these same things that I'm talking about here, and it took her 5 years to surrender to the truth. It took her 5 entire years to come back to that frequency of oneness, and she spoke about the authenticity of her journey. And I also have an episode like that, a few on my podcast, about the things that I struggled with on this journey, getting out of that third and fourth dimensional way of being and way of thinking, and what I thought I knew and what was working, and really be honest with myself about who I really was vibrationally and what I was seemingly getting but not knowing about who I was, right? So it's just a totally different process, transformational. And I hope all of you beautiful souls have an amazing night. Bye.